Hey everybody, it's Rykard here again, back with another black and white Pokemon analysis. Today, we're going to be discussing the martial arts Pokemon known as Kojondo. So let's get started by taking a look at its typing, abilities, and stats. So first off, Kojondo is a mono fighting type, meaning that it has standard fighting type weaknesses and resistances, nothing special going on here. As for the abilities, the first one it gets is known as Inner Focus, which is a useful ability that allows you to never be flinched by any move that can cause a flinch. So, for example, Fake Out will not flinch you if you have the Inner Focus ability. As for its next ability, and probably its most useful, it is known as Regeneration, which is a new ability in this black and white game. And what it does is it heals your HP by 1/3 every time you return back to your party in a battle. So if you have this Pokemon out, it takes damage, and then you switch it back in, and you put out another Pokemon. Kojondo just got healed by 1/3 of its health, and now it's pretty much ready to go into battle again. And it's a great way of saving this Pokemon, because if you're at low health, you can always just switch out, and then when you switch back in, you'll have higher health, and it allows it to last for a while in battle and never really be some kind of Pokemon you throw in just to die if you need to get a safe switch. As for its last ability, you get it in the Dream World, and it is known as Reckless. And Reckless is an ability that was originally only obtained by using Hitmonlee, and what it does is it increases the power of recoil moves by a certain number. And what's great about this is that it also increases the power of high jump kick or jump kick, because technically those both cause some kind of recoil to an extent when you miss. And Kojondo is fortunate enough to learn high jump kick, so Reckless could be used to increase that, or the power of that incredibly powerful fighting type move already, and allow Kojondo to do loads of physical damage with the Reckless and high jump kick combination. As for its stats, it has pretty weak defenses, with only 65 HP and 60 defense and 60 special defense, meaning that this Pokemon probably won't be able to take a lot of attacks from your opponent on either the special or physical side. As for its attacking stats though, 125 physical attack is great and very usable, and will allow this Pokemon to deal lots of damage on the physical end. As for its special attack, it's also pretty impressive with 95, so you could very easily run a special set with this Pokemon as a way of switching up the norm and allowing it to obviously hit things from the special side. Also, mixed Kojondo could be a possibility as well because of how high both the physical and special attacking stats are. As for its speed, it's at a good 105, meaning that it will be a very fast Pokemon and allow it to outspeed a number of different opponents and get an advantage because of that. And because of your high attacks, you'll be able to do a lot of damage to whatever you switch in on. So that pretty much makes this Pokemon a standard powerful attacker, but with weak defenses. With that, let's get started by taking a look at the first set of this video. So in this first set, we're going to have what I think would be characteristic of a lead Kojondo. So first we're going to give it a Jolly Nature to increase its speed but lower its special attack, and then we're going to be making use of the ability Regeneration. As for the EVs, 4 are going to go into HP, 252 into physical attack to give you a max physical attack possible with a Jolly Nature, and then 252 EVs into speed to give you your max speed possible. As for the item, since we are a lead and we do have fairly low defenses, we're going to be making use of a Focus Sash to always at least survive one attack from your opponent. As for the moves, first you're going to want to lead off with a Fake Out, which is an excellent move to use since it'll obviously flinch your opponent and be free damage on them essentially. And because of this Pokemon's high attack, it'll actually be used greatly because of the fact that you can deal whatever damage you need to your opponent before they can even attack. And it's great because it breaks Focus Sashes that your opponent might also be holding. As for its next move, we're going to be using Taunt in case we're up against a Pokemon that wants to set up in some way, whether it be with screens or entry hazards or whatever. Taunt's a great ability or move to use to block those things from occurring. As for its next move, we're going to be using High Jump Kick as just a way to powerfully hit anything that might be easily taken down by a physical attacking move from Kojondo, since it does have really high physical attack. So pretty much if you don't need to taunt it, or if you faked out already, you can just go with a High Jump Kick as a very powerful move in order to do a lot of damage to your opponent and cripple its lead severely. And lastly, we're going to be making use of U-Turn, which is probably this Pokemon's most useful move, and the reason I'm saying that is because it's really powerful, and the fact that it gets regeneration will allow it to pretty much just U-turn whenever it wants to, because you can come in, entry hazards will happen, whatever, but you can U-turn right out and be healed of those kinds of things. So it's actually a very useful move on Kojondo, and I think I put it in all of the sets because of that. But it's just a great move to use if you know you can outspeed your opponent's lead and switch into something more safe, and that'll be great because you won't take any damage and deal damage to them in the process. Up next, we have pretty much an all-out physical attacking set. So first we're going to give Kojondo a Jolly Nature, use the ability Regeneration, and use the same EVs as in the previous set. As for the item though, we're going to change it up to be a Life Orb to allow us to deal as much damage as possible. And another great thing about this Pokemon is that it's probably one of the best users of Life Orb because of the fact that it gets regeneration. So really the damage you do yourself from the recoil of Life Orb can easily be healed up because you can just switch out and get that health back. So I'm honestly saying that Kojondo is probably one of the most unique and powerful new Pokemon of Gen 5. As for the moves, first we're going to be using Swords Dance as a way of increasing our attack by 2 stages, meaning that it will be doubled to somewhere around the 700 range, which is amazing. So that'll allow Kojondo to do loads of physical damage. Another option though, if you want to be a bit more defensive, would be to use Bulk Up, because that'll also increase your defense by 1 stage, but only increase your attack by 1 stage. So really it's a matter of, do you want as much power as possible, or do you want some defense while gaining some power? Personally, I would go with Swords Dance because of that. Its next move we're going to be using is going to be Drain Punch, and I know that obviously, as I showed you in the first set, that it learns High Jump Kick, which is an amazingly high-powered fighting type move. Well, we're going to be using Drain Punch for the reason that we don't have the best defenses in the world. So after a Swords Dance, Drain Punch will do a heck of a lot of damage to anything that doesn't resist it, and it'll obviously heal your HP up at the same time. And if it'll heal your HP up enough to switch out safely, the regeneration ability will put you back at full health again. So it's really like a very recovery-based set, but it works out really well because you don't sacrifice any power in the process, really. As for its next move, we're going to be using Stone Edge just because that's a great move to use and it gives you more type coverage. And then lastly, we're going to be making use of U-Turn again, just because of the fact that this Pokemon can pretty much easily do it in any situation and not have to worry about anything hurting it, because of the fact that you'll regenerate any health you lose when you switch this Pokemon in, for the most part. Lastly, we have a special attacking set for Kojondo, since it is also able to use its 95 base power special attack stat, so why not run a special set? For the nature this time, we're going to be using a Timid Nature, which will increase your speed and lower your physical attack. We're still going to use Regeneration, and we're also still going to be using a Life Orb. As for the EVs though, the only change is we're going to be putting 252 EVs into Special Attack instead of Physical Attack this time, since obviously we're running a special base set. As for the moves, the first one we're going to be using is Calm Mind to increase our Special Attack and Special Defense by 1 stage each time, which will then allow Kojondo to do more damage with its special attacking moves, and also maybe take a hit or more on the special attacking side from your opponent. As for the moves, or the first attacking move, we're going to be using Aura Sphere, which is an excellent fighting type special move that can never miss. It works similarly to the way Aerial Ace or Swift do, in the sense that they always have 100% accuracy. So Aura Sphere is great for Kojondo to use on a fighting type set, or special set, sorry, and it's a heck of a lot more accurate than Focus Blast, even though it is more powerful. Aura Sphere is still a better option. And last, for the, I guess, main special attacking move in the set, we're going to be making use of Hidden Power Ice, because fighting in ice has some pretty good coverage when it comes to being able to hurt opponents' types. The only thing that comes off the top of my head that resists it is Arugamoth, because it's bug and fire. And that's a new Pokemon in this generation, if you aren't aware. But I'm sure there's other typing that can resist this, but overall, it's pretty much going to be able to hit things for neutral or super effective damage. And then lastly, even though we are running a special set, we're going to make use of U-Turn just because this Pokemon can use it so well. But that's about it for Kojondo, so I hope you guys think this Pokemon is as cool as I do, because originally I just thought it was just another fighting type physical attacker with good speed, but when I looked into it and saw the uses of regeneration with this Pokemon, I realized just how good and powerful it can be, and unique because of that ability. So that's pretty much it. So I will see you guys in my next video. Take care and goodbye.